It started like every other dating app story. I matched with this guy named Owen. He was cute, well-spoken, and charming enough to win over even my overprotective best friend. We went on a few dates, coffee, drinks, dinner. He was a bit awkward at first, but not in a red flag way. That changed on the fourth date. He was suddenly intense, possessive. We were at a rooftop bar, and he kept placing his hand on my lower back, not in a sweet way, but in a you're mine kind of way. His jokes were a little darker, too. He made one about how if I ever ghosted him, he'd just show up like a horror movie villain. I laughed, awkwardly. He didn't. That night, he tried to kiss me in the parking garage. I pulled back and said, "I think I'm going to head home." His smile faded fast. I went home and didn't reply to his texts. A few days later, I blocked him. I thought that was it. The following week, I took a solo trip, a little Airbnb retreat in the woods, about 90 minutes from where I lived. I hadn't told anyone where I was going, not even my family. I just needed space, time to reset. I even disabled location sharing. The Airbnb was a cozy A-frame cabin, one floor, large windows, a fireplace, and nothing but forest in all directions. It felt peaceful. For the first 2 nights, I slept like a baby, until the third night. At around 2:30 a.m., I woke up to the sound of the back deck creaking. The cabin had motion-sensitive lights out there. I waited. Nothing turned on. I told myself it was just a wind. But then I noticed something terrifying. The small decorative bell that hung outside the sliding glass door was missing. I got up, turned on the porch light. Nothing. No bell, just the hook where it used to hang. The next morning I found boot prints in the dirt near the deck. I didn't want to assume the worst, so I convinced myself maybe they were mine. That night, I locked everything, all windows, all doors, and placed a chair against the sliding glass door. I even moved one of the dining chairs into the bedroom to wedge under the door handle, just in case. At 3:08 a.m., the fire alarm chirped. Not a full alert, just one loud chirp, then silence. I got up, looked around, and found nothing. The fire alarm looked fine. Batteries were new. I was walking back to the bedroom when I noticed something that stopped me cold. The dining chair was no longer under the door handle. It was pushed to the side, like someone quietly slid it away. I grabbed my phone. No signal. I turned on the flashlight and scanned the room. Still alone. I checked the front door. Locked. The kitchen. Empty. And then I saw it. A single Polaroid photo lying on a kitchen counter. It was me, asleep, in the bed, from inside the room. I nearly threw up. I grabbed my bag, my car keys, and sprinted out the front door. The second I got outside, I saw boot prints in the dew-covered grass, fresh ones, leading from the back of the cabin to the woods. I jumped in the car, reversed down the gravel drive, and didn't stop until I hit a gas station nearly 40 minutes away. There, I finally got cell signal. I called the police, filed a report. I showed them the photo. They checked the cabin. No signs of forced entry, no fingerprints, no Owen. 3 days later, I got an email. No sender name, just the address. Gone but not forgotten at protonmail.com, no subject. One sentence. Next time you ghost someone, remember, some ghosts follow. Attached was a second photo, another Polaroid. This time it was me at the gas station, crying. I've moved since, changed my name on social media, but sometimes when I wake up, I swear I hear that fire alarm chirp again. And every time I travel, I wonder if he's already there, waiting. Because what I thought was just a bad date was actually someone choosing me for something far, far worse. Year 2014. I was in 7th grade when this started. It was late October, just before Halloween, the time of year when our middle school hosted its Scare Week fundraiser. Every day, we'd dress up, compete in haunted scavenger hunts, and stay after school to set up decorations for the school dance. It was the kind of fun that made you forget you were still a kid until something reminded you. That reminder came in the form of Landon. He wasn't in my friend group, but he volunteered to help with the haunted house build like the rest of us. He was quiet, always sketching something in his notebook, and he wore the same faded hoodie every single day. But he never bothered anyone, so no one really noticed him, except he noticed me. One day, I found a note in my locker. You have the kind of smile that makes monsters jealous. No name, no signature, just that. I figured it was a dumb prank, so I threw it away. But the next day, another note appeared. You dropped your pen yesterday. I kept it. It smells like cinnamon. That one sent a chill through me. Because I had dropped a pen, cinnamon scented. Only someone who was watching me closely would know that. That afternoon, I checked every single locker in the row. None were open, none suspicious. But every day after that, another note. Sometimes they were compliments. Sometimes they were strange sketches. One was a picture of me, sitting exactly as I had during lunch the day before. Eventually, I figured it out. Landon was always near my locker before and after class. When I stopped to think about it, he always seemed to be there, always watching. I tried to avoid him after that, but avoiding someone at school is almost impossible. And soon, it escalated. He started messaging me on this weird old app, one nobody used anymore. He wrote, I couldn't stop thinking about you. Your laugh makes the walls shake. Do you feel it too? I didn't respond. He messaged again the next day, and the next. Each message got more aggressive, more unstable. So I told a teacher, I told the school counselor, and guess what they told me? He's a good student. He probably just has a little crush. Be kind. Be kind. What they didn't know was that Landon wasn't just messaging me. He was leaving things. A single glove on my desk during gym class. A rock with my name scratched into it, left inside my backpack. A photo of me, sleeping in class. Not from the front, from behind. I was terrified. Then, one night, I was home alone. My parents were at a weekend retreat. I was watching TV on the couch when I heard a tap, tap, tap at the living room window. Our windows are frosted, but I could see a silhouette. Someone was outside. I grabbed my phone and hid behind the couch. Another tap. I finally peeked and saw the shape of someone holding something up. It looked like a notebook. He pressed it to the glass. It was a drawing of me in my pajamas, sitting exactly how I was sitting in that moment. I screamed and ran upstairs, locked myself in the bathroom, and called 911. The police arrived within minutes, but the figure was already gone. The only thing they found was the notebook. It was filled cover to cover with drawings of me, in the cafeteria, in class, outside my house. There were pages that detailed my schedule when my parents were home, even what door I usually forgot to lock. And on the last page, Halloween night, I'm ready. That night was October 29th. The school called Landon's parents. but they claimed he was visiting his uncle 2 states away. The school brushed it off. No arrest, no suspension, just quiet. October 31st came, Halloween night. My parents were home. I felt safe enough to relax. I went to bed early. Around midnight, I woke up to check my phone and noticed my window was open. I never opened it. I got up to shut it and noticed something on the floor. A mask, a cheap white rubber mask, and underneath it, a note. "You lock the door now. That's good. But what about your parents' room?" I ran to their room. They were fine, but something felt off. The next morning, my mom's car wouldn't start. She opened the hood and found a pair of gloves shoved inside. Black gloves, with cinnamon powder still on the fingertips. They finally launched an investigation. Police contacted Landon's uncle. And that's when we found out the truth. Landon never made it to his uncle's. He had told his parents he was going, but he never got there. His phone was found in a storm drain near our school, and nobody has seen him since. Now here's the part I've never told anyone until now. 2 years later, we moved to a new town, new house, new locks. Last Halloween, I came home from school to find a single note in the mailbox. "I like the old house better. You looked happier there." In 2021, Rachel Myers moved into a quiet old apartment building in Seattle. She was 26, fresh off a bad breakup, craving peace and privacy. The building was small, 10 units, old walls, thin hallways. Her apartment? 4B. Right across the hall was 4A. She never saw the tenant, not once. At first it was small stuff, things you'd miss if you weren't paying attention. Her welcome mat slightly moved. Her door chain suddenly locked, even though she never used it. One night, she heard a soft, rhythmic tapping coming from the peephole. She checked. No one was there. Then, one morning, a note taped to her door, folded on lined paper. In shaky handwriting it read, "You looked sad last night. I watched you cry through the window. You're still beautiful when you cry." Rachel's window faced the alley, 4 stories up. No fire escape. She called the landlord. He said 4A was rented to a man named Tom Avery. Quiet guy, worked nights, had lived there for years, but Rachel had never seen him. That night, she heard slow, deliberate footsteps in the hall. They stopped at her door. And then, a whisper, "You shouldn't have told on me." Police came, knocked on 4A. No answer. They left a report. Nothing else. So Rachel bought a camera, a cheap one, pointed it at her door. She hoped that was the end of it. It wasn't. That night, 2:46 a.m., the camera caught him. A man, hooded, thin. He opened her door with a key and walked in. He stopped, inches from her bedroom door, leaned forward, like he was smelling it. Then he turned and stared directly into the camera. He smiled. He waved, then left. Police came again. This time they forced the landlord to open 4A. Inside, nothing. Just a filthy mattress. No food, no furniture. But the walls were covered in photos. All of Rachel, sleeping, eating, changing clothes. Some photos were taken from inside her bedroom. The man, Tom Avery, never existed. 4A had been empty for years. No tenant, no lease. No one was paying rent. He had just moved in, lived there, across from her, in secret, for months. Rachel moved out, changed her number, started therapy. She tried to forget. 6 months later, she got a package. No return address. Inside was a single Polaroid of her sleeping on a back in the same handwriting. This time, I brought my own key. The spare key from under her sister's porch had gone missing 3 days earlier. She moved again, changed her name, left everything behind. But sometimes, a note shows up, a photo, a whiff of her shampoo in a room she hasn't entered. No signs of forced entry, no fingerprints. He was never caught, because he wasn't hiding. He was waiting, watching, always looking for a way in.